Yeah. Welcome to the PHNX Sun Devils live show brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Bet just $5 on any NFL team this week, and if they win, you get $200 in free bets. I'm joined, as always, by Brittany Boyer.
What's up? And we have a very special guest today. We have two, but joining us first is T. Smith. T was a receiver for Arizona State from 91 to 93. He's joining us from a video call because he has to get out. He's also a coach, but T, welcome onto the show. How you doing? Oh, wait. I think we have him muted still.
Go over to the mute thing. Yeah, there we go.
One more time. How you doing, T?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We are wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. A lot of stuff to talk about with this Arizona State team, but, first and foremost, for a lot of people who might not know who you are or know about your background, do you want to give us a little bit of info about you and maybe what your Sun Devil story was?
Yeah, I was listening to one of you guys had on Marcus Williams the other day, and he was just giving some advice about, kind of being present in that moment. And, it really does go by fast. And, I was there during a time with Larry Marmee and Bruce Snyder, and some of my teammates were like the likes of Darren Woodson and, Felipe Sparks and things like that. So it was just really, I think all of us were just young men trying to find ourselves and stuff. But then, as we've gone forward in our careers and different stuff, we've all taken different paths. And, I had NFL dreams like everyone else, and, after those didn't work out, I decided to just stay here in Arizona. And, I became a real estate broker and just a family man, things that I had no idea that I'd be doing. But, it's been very rewarding. I have 5 boys and 1 girl, and I've been married for 20 years. And, that wasn't the plan when I came here from California for sure. But, I definitely see that, the man upstairs had a different plan for my life, and it's worked out really well.
So you got to play under quite a few really notable coaches. You were around some really great players. What was it like for you to be around players of such caliber? Was there anything that you were able to take away from them that you still reflect on and utilize to this day? Or something that they said to you that really still resonates with you?
I just think the discipline that, it required to just be a collegiate athlete, and just, I think we just didn't really know what to expect when we got there. And it was really overwhelming for some of us, just being on a stage like that. And I think that's something that wasn't talked about then, and it's more prevalent now. But back then, I don't think we understood what a scholarship really meant. And we just were just football, and Tempe was still like just growing and just birthing itself as a national, like being on the national map. They hadn't had the Super Bowl here yet, and so just a desert, but the one thing is the teamwork and just the culture, and that's something that I see. There's no color lines and things like that that I still carry with me today, and through sports. And so I try to share that. Obviously I'm a coach, and one thing I try to impart on these kids is, try to not act like I've never been there before, or, like I've never been through anything. So we try to relate with them as much as I can. But that past and that teamwork is just a safe place to kind of grow these young people.
Yeah, you touched on the culture a little bit. What was it like back in the 90s at ASU, and how do you think it's changed? And what do you bring with you from your time at ASU to the kids you coach today?
I think the most important thing is discipline, and just understanding that it's a business. And, it's a lot more serious when you get to that level. And, these people are paying for you to come there and go to school and, perform on the field. And I think some kids just don't wrap their head around that. And I just kind of give kids an expectation of what to expect, when they land on that platform. And, you just, one day you're a high school, kid, and you're, living at home with your parents, and all of a sudden you're away from home, and all these different personalities from all over the world. And it just poses a lot of different challenges that I think that are not talked about. And so I just try to just give the guys keep it 100, as they say, with them, and tell them, hey, it's a business. And if you take from football, and everything it can give you as far as an education versus just thinking about playing and, playing in the NFL or going to the league, as they say, it just has more to offer than that. And so I just try to make sure guys don't lose sight on that.
Definitely.
Now, you mentioned you played under Marmee and Snyder both. So what was it like for you to be a part of the team during that transition from one coach to the other?
Uh-oh.
Oh, are we frozen?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, get us back on there. We'll get back on track.
We will get back on track. Think we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Happens sometimes from time to time.
Yeah, technology, darn technology.
I'm sure he will give us a call back here shortly, or if he unfreezes. In the meantime, though, he did impart quite a bit of knowledge about, talking to the kids and just trying to relate with them. He's worked with some really big kids over at Hamilton, one of them being Brendan Rice.
Yeah.
ASU saw him. It's not necessarily been a phenomenal year for him at Colorado because of the issues with their quarterback, but yeah,
got him back.
Great opportunity. So we'll welcome back. Sorry, a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but
no worries.
Glad to have you back on here. So we were just talking about a little bit of the difference between having to play for Marmy and then switching over to Bruce Snyder as being a head coach. What was it like during that transition period?
Well, for me, ironically, I was from San Jose, California, the Bay Area, and Coach Snyder and them recruited me heavily from Cal Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
So I already had a relationship with those guys, so that transition was actually pretty smooth for me. So I knew Phil Snow and Donnie Henderson and all those guys. They knew me from the Bay Area, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But they definitely tried to change the culture. That was for sure.
Now, you mentioned Donnie Henderson. He's back on the staff now. What is it like for you to see coaches that coached on the staff when you were a member there almost going full circle and coming back to where, they kind of started? What is that like for you?
Well, I'm still trying to run into him. It's funny stories. They used to call him my stepdad or dad when I was a student there. He's a guy that, at that time I really didn't understand, what he was trying to accomplish with me, but he really pushed me hard, and I try to share that story with my own athletes that I coach. My daughter, she's actually a collegiate athlete. She plays basketball for Western New Mexico.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I was just sharing that story with her about, she was telling me her coach was being tough on her, and I was trying to give her an example of what tough really was. So we had a really good laugh about that, but I'm trying to run into him still so we can share a laugh about some of those days.
Well, hopefully if you come around this weekend, you'll bump into him for homecoming. So
yeah, for sure.
So speaking of coaching, obviously you said that this wasn't the path that you envisioned. What was the moment where you decided you wanted to go down this road and kind of be a sponsor to these high school football kids?
Well, it started in the youth circuit. Obviously being a parent, what I mean? When I first came on the scene, I was like, I didn't want to be the ex-player that, was on the sideline kind of trying to be Monday morning quarterback, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I kind of saw that there was a need in the league that I was in. There was just a lack of knowledge and the ability to deliver it. I mean, some people can handle being yelled at and some kids can't handle that. And I just think all players are different. And I think, when I played, they coached us all the same, and I think that's probably the biggest change. And I've kind of adapted to that, and, it's not all about winning and, and kids go on vacation during the championship game and, just a different environment. And, but from that experience, I just ran into some different opportunities. Some friends of mine were in the high school circuit and they said, hey, there's an opportunity. And, I talked it over with my wife and my family and I wasn't too sure about it. I'd heard some different stuff and I just like the purity of youth sports. And, that kind of kept me there for a while, but eventually I made the jump. I just thought I wanted to be more of a presence and help with the recruiting process and just kind of, getting these kids a platform and just kind of real expectations when it comes to college football and what it takes to get there. So that's when I kind of threw my name in the hat and been there for about 4 or 5 years now. And, I was a parent before here at the school. My son graduated in 2012. And so, it's kind of odd just coming back through the facility and not being a parent and now being a coach, but it's kind of been 360 for me.
Now, you've talked about a lot of kids that you've gotten to help with the recruiting process. One of the most notable, I would say probably, is Brendan Rice, who's at Colorado now. He was a receiver for Hamilton. Absolutely huge, especially being who his dad was. What was it like for you to get to kind of sit down and talk with him one-on-one on some of these critical decisions that were coming his way and things he would have to be taking into consideration and, being able to provide guidance to somebody like that?
Well, this is my first year as a varsity coach, but I know Brendan through his mother and his family. She's in real estate too, and we've shared conversations and stuff. But from my interactions with him, he's just a fine young man, and I think that's like half the battle that some of these kids, think the world owes him something. And that's just not the vibe that I got from him. And when he's on campus, he's always accessible to the kids from what I've seen, always speaks and is very polite. But I just think that's more important is about the person that he was, but necessarily the player. So, that's what I got from him, and and just the time that I got to be around him. But I didn't get a chance to coach him. I wish I did. I think we could have did some great things here on the varsity level together. But no, he definitely was a great player.
Well, Shane, do you have anything else about him?
I just want to get your take on this ASU team right now.
Oh, I was going to switch gears to that because I have some videos. I wanted to show you a video because you were a receiver. So you said you had been paying attention. Shane, I'll let you ask your question first or whatever your specific.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get your vibe on this ASU team and what you gauge with kind of what the problem is in these losses with discipline and how that can kind of be fixed, because it's not as easy as somebody like having ball security issues. It's more mental. So what do you think the issue is with this ASU team in terms of beating themselves?
Well, I think discipline, I don't really think that's something that I think that's an issue with them.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody makes mistakes. No one plays the perfect game. I mean, we've had some guys do some really things that are character, but they've got discipline up there at that program. I think that's what's made it turn around is just the structure they have up there now, and there's just a lot of good people up there. But the football stuff will take care of itself. I think they're just one play from here or there away from really turning the corner. Their ranking got up there really high, and that just was a tough loss they suffered. I thought the Utah game, this really was a big stinger, but they got a really good thing going, and they're just definitely trending up. And that receiving core is amazing. Their
Mm-hmm.
offense is just amazing to watch. I mean, there's so many weapons. I mean, I just really don't think you can slow them down, and just the challenge for me would be as an OC trying to get the ball to all those guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that we're going to talk about. So we have a video actually from Bobby Wade. So he is the receivers coach right now at Arizona State. Zach Hill talked yesterday about, the offensive play calling, where they felt like they fell short against Utah. And Bobby Wade came in today and talked about how sometimes it can be an issue, figuring out who they're going to have play each week, but it really comes down to who ends up stepping up. So we'll watch his little clip of what he talked about, and then we'll get your feedback and break it down a little bit more in depth.
You want them all to be consistent, and it's you definitely wish that they all can have the same amount of opportunities. It's just not how the game works, and especially within our offense. And we're really focused on putting the best guys out there at the time, whether it be our running backs, our receivers, or tight ends. So we're really focused as a coaching staff to make sure we're getting the guys in the right places. So one guy might stand out one week, another guy might stand out the next week. In general, they are all being pushed to be the guy, and they all need to be focused on that and want to be that. And if we continue to do that, all them small opportunities, there won't be no misses. And as long as we keep capitalizing on that, there'll be even more bigger plays and opportunities to be made.
And you also had hit on it coming down to being in the details for them. They're just a couple plays away from really blowing things up. And that was something that they also talked about was, they know how close they are. So is there anything that you can impart any knowledge as a receiver about where this receiving core's at, or, just a general sense as a coach of something that some viewers might not know or might not have a general concept of?
He's muted.
Oh, wait 1 second. We have you muted
there
still.
You go for it.
There you go. Now go.
I said that comment really resonates with me. I'm constantly, I'm at a big time program. There's just no question about it. And everybody wants the ball up here, and everybody, if they went to another school, they probably get 10, 8, 9 balls a game. It's just not a reality. And so it's just trying to get people to understand that, even the parents, just like, hey, my kid only got this many catches or whatnot, and I totally get it. But if you coach them to be ready for their opportunity and to understand the type of program they're playing for and the type of offense they're in, and that it kind of all works together, that, 1 week a guy can, have 3 or 4 catches, and that's kind of like a big game. We actually sat down and pulled up the Cardinals receptions and showed the guys like, hey, DeAndre Hopkins is one of the top receivers in the whole NFL, and he had 3 balls. And and they won the game, right? And it's about winning the game and playing as a team, not necessarily, how many balls I get, so to speak,
Yeah.
And I spend more time just keeping the guy's temperament right. Their skill set is at a high level. You don't get to that point by, not playing at a high level. So it's sometimes just dealing with temperament and understand if we all shine, we're going to be better off. If we all play and we go undefeated and go play on a national stage, then we'll all get seen, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's tough, with social media and all the other things that are pulling at the kids for their attention. So, that what his comments were just the nail on the head for me. I deal with that quite often.
Yeah, and this team, it's kind of they have to really switch what they've been doing, because for years this team has had their Ayuks and their Jalen Strongs, and now there's so many receivers on this team that it's hard to get everybody the ball. What would you tell a player that thinks they should be the number one option that isn't necessary, that is in an offense like this where somebody else is blowing up each game?
Well, that's what I think they have to understand the offense. That's half the battle, just understanding the type of offense that it all works together. And if they can do that, then you're going to be fine. But if it's just about them, you're never going to get through that. If a person just being a selfish person or a selfish player, not a good teammate, then you're going to have troubles. But if they understand how it works, they get that. And you'll start to see that brotherhood develop within the receiver room, within the offense, and it starts to click for you, and that's kind of what I've noticed since I've been here. I don't really deal with a lot of substitutions and things like that. They police themselves. They're that good and have a good enough relationship that, hey, they're like, hey, the guy just ran a deep route. We want to keep fresh guys in. A guy will go in, and if he scores, you don't feel any animosity or any type of energy, and that's what I pride myself in is keeping the room, reading the room as they speak.
For sure. Yeah. Well,
okay, I wanted to know also, this team's had quite a bit of issues in terms of like cleaning up the penalties going forward. So that's obviously an area of concern. Is there any other areas of concern that you have as a former player when you watch the Arizona State team? And also, what are some areas that you think that they are excelling in?
I mean, no coach likes penalties. I mean, you don't work on that. You don't lift weights for that. You don't train for that. You don't train for penalties. So, you got to have a grain of take that. Each coach has his own tolerance level when it comes to that, and the type of penalties that you have. A guy working hard and gets called on a holding. But, there's certain things like, for us, it's like false starts, as a receiver, like that's something we really, really frown on. And, that kind of stuff. But other than that, the things they do well is they're exciting. They're definitely play with a great energy, and they look like they're enjoying themselves out there. And football is fun. If you keep the game simple, for guys at that level, they're going to perform well. It's just I think that's the new athlete is, you hear a lot about mental, how guys working on their mental and mental health. And they look like they're having fun. The guys don't look stressed out. They don't look like they're playing without confidence. So I'm really excited for the team and what they can do in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Well, T, we appreciate you joining us. We got Rodney about to come in.
Yep.
Any other closing statements for T before we get out?
No, I mean, just what do you think? What's your one parting thought for the Devils going into the game this weekend?
Win.
Win. All right, I like it. Well, thank you so much for joining us, T. We'll let you get out. We know you have Hamilton's practice, and we appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
You too. My pleasure. Thanks
for having
me.
Thank you. Well, that was an awesome interview. He was very, very high energy. I'm sure he brings it to the team, getting himself probably a little bit pumped up for practice too.
Definitely.
We also have a very special guest joining us in Rodney Cox. He will be calling in just a minute if he is not already on the line.
You know what we can do? We can tell the people about the wonderful DraftKings Sportsbook app. I mean, it's safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, you can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game, and if they do, you get $200 in free bets. It's super easy. It's really fun to use, and I don't know. I mean, it's just it gives me something to do when I don't want to watch a college football game that, as Johnny would say, is a dirt. Like, for instance, the Cal-Oregon State game. I think that's going to be a kind of a boring one. It has a lot of it's pretty meaningful. I don't think it's going to be a high-powered offensive game, but you can watch that game and actually feel something when you bet on it with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I like a Cal in this game. They're plus money. Their money line, I think it's like a pick 'em, but they're like plus 105. So if you want to get some skin in the game, go ahead and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code PHNX when you sign up. Bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game. And if they do, you get $200 in free bets. That's 21 plus, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for more details.
Well, no one likes cheating, so no one likes shaving points.
No.
But everyone likes shaving hair.
And I
so
need to
you
do
should
that.
shave with Manscaped. If you go to manscaped.com and use our code PHNX, you will get 20% off plus free shipping. So make sure you go and do that whenever you can.
And we got
because-
Rodney here.
Yeah,
We got
and we do
Rodney
have
here.
Rodney here.
Here we go.
What up?
bud?
Woo!
We here.
We are here. So for those of you who don't know, this is Rodney Cox who is joining us. Rodney played for Arizona State from 2004 to 2008 on the defense. Quite a story. So Rodney, without further ado, I will let you go ahead and give yourself a little bit of an introduction.
All right, cool. Since my little dude's right here, we
Yeah.
gonna
What up,
what
bud?
up?
How you doing?
Say ASU. Come on, throw it up one more time. One time. No, okay, not today. Hey, okay. I guess we got a special guest today.
I love it. I love it. The more the
Little
merrier.
man didn't want to go to school today. You're not feeling too good, but look.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right, go in there and play. Thank you, buddy. Okay, good job. Go in there and play. Daddy duties, So a little bit about me. Grew up in California, born and raised. Oh my.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what just happened, but that looked very tragic at the end.
He said, "Oh no."
I'm sure he will give us a call back. It looked like maybe
Oh.
his phone fell
Man,
over.
that was some high energy from the kid. I really needed that.
Every time I see Rodney, it's always super high energy. So just a side note, because we're going to talk about this with him. I'm sure he's going to be giving us a call back here in a second. He does. Here he is, but he works with kids as a high school recruiting coordinator, helping to get them matched up. And
Mhm.
every time I see him on the sidelines at a high school football game, he just makes me absolutely crack up laughing. He always brings the intensity, brings a smile. He's a ton of
Children
fun.
seem like a good substitute for coffee in the morning.
Yeah, right?
The kid was fired up. I love it.
It's not even
ASU.
morning.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, he's trying to rejoin, but if you want to finish your Manscaped read, you never tell the people what they can get with that code PHNX.
20% off plus free shipping.
It's
with
fantastic with Manscaped. I mean, I need to finish up my whole situation up here. I wanted to this morning, but unfortunately, actually not unfortunately, I just decided I didn't want to shave because I'm trying to incorporate it into a costume I'm doing. Me and a couple of my buddies are being the founding fathers, so I'm looking for some way to incorporate it into my costume. Maybe like a goatee, but there was no goatees back then. And Rodney is back.
Hi. All right. Are we all good? Are we frozen? Is he frozen?
A wonderful Wednesday. It's hump day. Stuff like this does happen.
It's a glitch in the universe.
Yeah, well, it's probably just a glitch in the internet. Well, we can start breaking down a little bit about what we expect to see on Saturday. On the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, Washington State is 16.5-point underdogs. Unfortunately, on my betting show this morning, me and Johnny both took Washington State to cover. That's just so many points for ASU to score and lead by the whole game, and I don't know if that's going to.
And especially against this Washington State
Yeah.
team, that's tough. All right, hey, welcome back.
Third time's a charm, maybe.
No.
Well,
Technical difficulties.
Maybe we can
Dang
figure it out later in the week.
We will try it again. I don't know. We will see what we can do. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It says he just messaged me that he is logged in, so I don't know what's going on.
We might have some internet issues, but Washington State might cause some issues with ASU come Saturday. They first play at noon. It's the first game during the day, rather. So it's going to be interesting to see how that whole matchup kind of goes, because I don't know. Taking this week off from an ASU standpoint kind of resets everything. But at the same time, these guys aren't used to playing in the day for this year, at least. And a lot of what they're doing is hostile environments. I don't want them to get too comfortable, because it's going to be nice. It's going to be like 90 degrees. There's going to be some wind. It's going to feel good. I mean,
Dude, Herm was joking. He didn't know when he was going to have to, He goes, I normally get to the stadium like 5 hours before the game. So like what I don't know when I'm going to get there now. Like probably going to show up to the stadium at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, he probably is.
That's what he said.
That man is a psycho sometimes. But yeah, there's something about a day game when you're sitting in the bleachers and it's all 90 degrees and you get a little warmth going. So I'm excited for this game, especially the game time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really great game. Super exciting one for sure.
Let's see if we can get him in one more time. Let's try it.
We'll try it. See if it's frozen.
He's frozen. I think we're just gonna have to do it another day.
Yeah, if it's not working today, possibly we can get him in here tomorrow or on Thursday. But yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties, unfortunately, get the best of everyone sometimes.
Of course. I mean, it's hard enough to have all these devices and keep up with everything going on without the internet ruining everything. So maybe
I'm like,
one last time.
Try it?
We'll try it.
Hey, I see the fan moving.
Yeah, but it freezes. That's everything. It's frozen again. I think we just audible, get them in later in the week, and maybe it will work then. But let's break down a little bit about what we expect to see from Washington State, and then we'll get out of here.
All right.
So yeah, homecoming week, big game. ASU coming off a bye. Do you think they come out flat again?
No, I don't think they come out flat. I think they've had enough time to get together, to regroup, to figure out what they want to do. Do you think
the time off almost hurts them a little bit?
I think it helps in a really, really odd roundabout way. I know that, Darian Butler talked about it today when he was at the press conference. Nobody wants, and they all have talked about this, no one wants to go into this week or the week before this on a loss, but, unfortunately that was what had happened. Herm said earlier this week that he wrote all of them handwritten notes that were the captains. The captains got together, they talked, they decided that they wanted what they wanted to do, how they were going to approach the team, and they have addressed it, and he says that they're ready to go, they're ready to play, and they're focused and zoned in.
Love it. Yeah, we actually have the clip from the press conference from the defensive side, right?
We do. So we have something that he touched on today that Darian Butler talked about, and he was talking about, their inability to get the job done in the second half and that they know that they have to do a better job. So we'll watch that. Do we want to try and answer this call and see if it works?
Last time. We'll
try it.
Try it one more time. See if it's working. Bring them in. Are we still frozen? I believe we are. We'll get to it later in the week. No worries. Let's bring up that video. Yeah.
We understand the type of half we played in Utah the second half. We know that wasn't us out there. We know that completely. The penalties, just guys not making plays, it was us completely. And that just wasn't how we play. That's not what we do. And it wasn't the call at all. It's just, guys we need guys to step up at times like that. Somebody got to say something, and I didn't do nothing about it. So, of course, being a captain and being the middle linebacker on the team, you're just going to take it. You're just going to take that one to the chin. That's what you got to do. It's really about, you're battling adversity. It's about keeping your poise, You got to keep your head straight and keep the guys around you, letting them know that everything is okay. Like, we was down. They scored a touchdown. We're still up by a touchdown. So you got to let guys know that it was still a game here. Like, we still got the lead. We got to finish this game. And that's just not what I did. We didn't do that. Nobody stepped up and said, sure, it's cool. We're done with Utah anyway, so we're good. On to the next week.
So, yeah, like you said, done with Utah.
Yeah, I love the mentality.
I almost like that, and I do, but I don't. I like that he is taking ownership of the loss. It's not all on him, but he knows as a leader he needed to do more. He knows he didn't say anything. He knows he wasn't vocal enough. And I think that says a lot for a player to step up and say that.
Especially a guy like Darian Butler, who not only leads by example, but also leads with his voice when he doesn't even need to, because you have your Chase Lucases and Jack Jones in the secondary that are the true leaders of this defense. But I mean, Darian Butler is everywhere on the field, so it makes sense that he's everywhere off the field as well. He's such a cool guy. I love how he plays, and I love how he approaches situations off the field. Talking about, as he said, we just got to put it in the past. I mean, obviously that's not what we wanted. They take full responsibility, but get it away. That's the mentality. One game at a time. Get it out of here. We've addressed it. We've talked about it. That's enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a good mentality to have. I think it keeps you from dwelling on things too much, from getting too in your own head. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they bring to the table this week. I'm excited to see the offense recharged. I'm excited to see some of these injured players back out there on the field, hopefully all recovered and back to 100%. And I'm excited to see a day game in Arizona.
Yeah, we'll have more about the game in the coming days, Thursday and Friday, previewing everything. The defense has to play 4 quarters of D1 football.
Rodney Cox is just going to give us all of his input via
comments.
Yeah, because he was having some issues getting on.
Rodney,
here.
we'll try to get you back on here either tomorrow or Friday.
He said he said he would be willing to come back on tomorrow and try it again. So fans, if you're watching, tune in for Rodney tomorrow. Sorry about the little bit of a mistake and mishap there.
Yeah, I think that's all we have.
That is all we have for
all right, well, we'll see you back here tomorrow at 3:30. You can follow me at Shane Deef. You can follow Brittany Boyer at bboyer07. You can follow our Twitter at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow PHNX_Sports all across social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast. And we will see you tomorrow at 3:30.